Hey, hello everybody. We're here today to celebrate May the 4th in 2021. We invited again Neire, who is a specialist in the force, to talk about women representation in Star Wars media. So, Neire, thank you so much to have you back here with us. Welcome, and you can start.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I'll start telling that, as again, as I said before, Star Wars is such an amazing saga for me. It's a family thing. I love it. Of course, I do adore other universes in the pop culture, but Star Wars is one of my favorites, or maybe the number one. And then when I was invited to be here with you to talk about other nuances inside of the Star Wars universe, it was such a blast. It's always such a blast. Yeah. So this afternoon, I'm going to talk about women representation in the Star Wars media, which is something, how can I say, nice to talk about, and at the same time, it provokes some debates when it comes to women or other kinds of considered minorities in the pop culture. And Star Wars uh, definitely has lots of great representations when it concerns to the feminine figure. So let's start talking about them. Yeah, here we go. And of course, by the end, we can have some chat, some questions, and everything. So my first question, let's start. I like starting with questions. Is to ask you if you know who are these women. Yeah. Uh, do
Oh,
you recognize their names?
I think I
That's
recognize all of them.
yeah, yeah. So here we have famous one. This series is a wonderful Disney one, Forces of Destiny. Yeah, which was, to my mind, one of the best releases from Star Wars in the last years. Yeah, when it comes to animated series, is a great, great, great one. Yeah. So here we have some names. Yeah, we have Princess Leia here. We have Rey, which is the protagonist and one of the centuries of our workshop today, of our lecture. And we have many others. Yeah. So in case you haven't watched Forces of Destiny yet, please do it. Please do it because it's just great. Yeah. Our contents today are we're going to talk about the role of the feminine in the 70s, which is something truly important to understand uh, women representation in Star Wars in the first movies. Changes in the last sequels, Star Wars women. So we're going to have some examples here. And let's play a galactic game, I suppose, if we have the time. Yeah. So first topic, the role of the feminine in the 70s. So when we talk about 70s and feminine characters, not only Star Wars, but as an average, uh, we are talking about something that is very complicated. And this is because most of the characters were men. Yeah. And by that, they always had that amazing representation, great plot, awesome stories. They were the century of the stories. And so, due to that, because of that, the women were secondary. Yeah. So, when we are talking about the 70s, let's remember here that we have in the movies, media in general, a great masculine male representation, but the feminine is secondary, and there are not many screenwriters or even directors who wanted to bet on women's roles, who wanted to have them well represented in the 70s. So this was really complicated. No major goals or great objectives or destiny were there to be fulfilled, to be lived by these women. They had also this necessity of implementing a romantic interest to these women. Like their stories wouldn't or couldn't exist if there was not a man involved, which was not true. But they were secondary, so they were the romantic interests to this man. And another great point when we're talking about 70s, 80s, yeah, is that these women, they had no journey. Or if they had, but they were to be helped all the time in order to be developed, in order to have a growing, in order to be more powerful, or even self-adapted. So this was a great problem. And Star Wars was ahead of its time when they presented us the amazing character, Princess Leia. Yeah, because she's different from the other women. She's ahead of their time. Yeah, from many points, she was totally different from the other women we could see in the screens. So let's start talking, taking her as an example. Yeah. So Princess Leia was presented and introduced to us on the franchise, on the Star Wars saga, in the New Hope movie in the 77, yeah, as a leader in the Rebel Alliance. So what was nice is that Princess Leia, as a character, she was a politician. She was part of the royalty, which was pretty common for princesses or ladies or queens in the movies, but she had a major difference. She was part of the rebellion, which was truly different from women, for women on those times. And also, she was not only part of the Rebel Alliance, but she was the leader of the Rebel Alliance. And we see her character presented in a hologram when she decides to ask for help. Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi, we need your help. Yeah, so it's a classic scene. But the fact that she needed a man's help doesn't diminish the fact that she was the leader of the rebellion at that time. So she was totally different. She was a different character from what was expected of the 70s and 80s when it comes to pop culture. Of course, in the meantime, we had other kinds of women characters that were well represented, but they were very few compared to the men characters, the male characters we had represented at that time. Yeah. And also Leah Organa, which started as a politician, as a royalty, and later became a rebel. Yeah. We could see her change. Yeah. So in the first movies, Leah was represented as this Rebel Alliance leader, and also a woman that could use a gun, could fight for herself, which was not common on those days. Yeah. And what we see that was so amazing in the last sequels, that we see her coming back as a general. Yeah. During the Star Wars franchise and publishing comics and everything else, we could see her transforming, changing. We have many stories involved Princess Leia as a leader, as a commander, and becoming a general. In the last sequels, on the screen, on the movies specifically, we see her returning as a general already. Yeah. And some other facts that are, it's very different when it comes to Leia, that is different from other women characters from her time. She had a romantic interest, but her life was not based on that. She was not dependent on Han Solo. She was not dependent on her brother, Luke Skywalker, even because she had the Force, the power of the Force in her herself. Yeah, they were both Force users, and we could see it in the Force Awakens. Yeah, when she gets blown up by an all her scenery was blown up by an explosion. She got released on space, and she gets back to the starship using the power, using her the Force. So it was an amazing, emblematic scene that she was not a dependent person. Yeah, she was not a general just because the name was cute or beautiful. She really earned her position. Yeah, and so she was the first one of her time that we could see the woman as an independent person, and that had its own story, and it was more than just a secondary persona, but she was part of something really important. She was an important piece of the story, and even the story changes because of her. So she was the first one, and after Princess Leia, Star Wars started developing many other women characters in comic books. In case you haven't read, please read them. There are many amazing stories. We have, for example, women that are not in the canon yet, like Luke Skywalker's wife, Mara Jade, which is an amazing commander, an amazing leader, yeah, very important character of the legends. So, and we hope to see her as part of the screen canon someday. Yeah. So changes in the last sequels, and here there is our heroine Rey. Yeah. And Rey, I just had here this topic, Rey and the feminine side of the Force, because she is nowadays a great representative of how the role of the women changed throughout the years. It was necessary to establish these changes on the screen as well, because the role of women in general have changed, and so it was necessary these changes. And Rey, she has something very different from the other women from Princess Leia time, seen on the screen. She was a kind of evolution, we could say. Yeah, and when we talk about changes, yeah, and we have Rey's story, Rey's path to becoming a Jedi, yeah, we see some evolutions when it concerns women. Yeah, the first change is that Rey is the protagonist. She's not secondary. In the 70s, in the 80s, remember, women were secondary. Yeah, they had a secondary role of importance. It doesn't happen with Rey. Yeah, in many many situations, many moments of the movie, we see Finn trying to help her and say, "Hey, take my hand, take my hand." It said, "I can't walk if I catch your hand." It means I can do this on my own. Yeah, I'm here as just as a protagonist as you are, but I'm not dependent on you. I can walk alone. I can fight by myself. I can do this. Yeah. And so, first point that was, to my mind, pretty decisive on the last sequels on the saga is that we have a woman, which is the protagonist of the story. She's the lead character of the story. We have Luke Skywalker coming back as her mentor, but he's not the century of the story. He is not the one that he's not is exactly the spark that starts the story. She is, yeah. No romantic interests. We see her having during the Force Awakens and throughout the rest of the other movies. We see her having an interest, a kind of tenderness, let's say, as to care. She cares about the people she loves, the friendships that she makes. Yeah, from BB-8, the droid, to Finn or to Paul Dameron, or even meeting the General Leia or Han Solo, that which she identifies so much the father figure that she has lost, and it has to do with the heroine's journey. We're going to see that soon. So she has no romantic interest. And when it shows up, it's in the last movie. In case you haven't watched the last movie, oops, sorry, spoilers. And we see
Episode 9.
Sorry, spoilers. So we see her romantic interest, yeah, with Ben Solo in the last movie. But it's just in the end of the movie, and it has a purpose. It's not deliberate. It's not just because she's a woman and, oh, nice, she's going to fall in love. No, it's part of the heroine's journey for Ben Solo to be there and for this interest to come up. Yeah. So everything. Sorry?
Quick pause with the guys who are here in the classroom. Who here liked the Raylo? Ray and Kylo Ren?
Yeah, that's a good question. Does anybody there likes the Raylo?
We have one fan here.
Yay! Yeah, see? So I like them together too. I think they should have stayed together.
Really?
Yeah.
But all right.
But all right. It's gone. It's gone. And another thing, people, that I don't know if you noticed, but she has a proper combat outfit. One thing that some of the Princess Leia fans they get really, I don't know, they are kind of split up when it comes to Leia's bikini version. Some of them they say like, "Wow, yeah," they have this reaction, and others, especially the women, they ask like, "Why?" It was it was not necessary, yeah, to have that moment. But focusing on the Princess Leia Jabba the Hutt moment, something that I found really nice is that she was taken as a slave, and so she had to wear that bikini uh, thing outfit, and but she didn't get discouraged because of that. Like, okay, and it's pretty much that basically she strangled Jabba the Hutt using the very objects which she was attainted to, that she was there arrested with. Yeah, she used those chains to strangle him. Yeah, so it was another signal that Princess Leia was not to be just a cutie pie feminine thing, in the movie. She was a persona to be developed with her courage, with her principles, and she wouldn't admit that. So that's why Princess Leia is so different from the other women characters we have in the 70s and 80s as well. And Rey doesn't have anything sensualized on her. Yeah, she has a proper combat outfit. To start with, from the beginning, she was a scavenger. Yeah, she was there just hunting pieces of metals in order to survive. And she was left by her parents, or so we understand in the beginning of the story. So there was nothing too feminine aesthetically about her. Yeah, on the contrary, she was a fighter. She was a warrior. She was fighting to survive. And when she becomes a Jedi, her outfit is just amazing because it's a Jedi combat outfit. There is nothing too delicate on Rey, except for her amazing heart, yeah, and feelings for the others and care for the others. But it was internal. External, she was a warrior. And this is what is amazing about Rey. She has also a destiny to fulfill. She's not there just because she's a pretty face, a cute face. She has a story, there is a plot to develop, there is a destiny to be fulfilled. Yeah? And this is another great evolution. And also, she is the hero that saves the day. So, if you watch the last movie, yeah, you'll see that when she meets Palpatine, she basically is that emblematic scene that some people like it, some people hate it. The last movie, basically, it's a debate for many people. But the fact is that she was there being the sentry, being pivotal to the story. And it's that much that you can hear all the Jedi voices say, hey, we are here for you. So it can be a little cliche to certain points, but at the same time, when we remember that we're talking about a woman being the century of a story, this is such an amazing thing. This is a great big evolution. Yeah, she's not there just to be a secondary, just because she has feelings or love sentiments or be sentimental thing. No, she's there because she knows who she is. She started the story willing to know who she was, and she ends up the story with a complete recognition. Okay, I know who I am. I know why I'm here, and I know what I have to do. So we see Rey in a great character evolution. Yeah. And the nice thing about it is that Lucas Arts and Disney, they loved this new formula so much that, by the way, Disney have been doing this formula with other characters from other Disney, on other Disney movies. We can see this pretty much well represented on Moana's, for example. Moana's story is pretty much like that. She starts with her family's story, but she has to conquer her own. And we see the same in Rey's story. So this is an amazing thing. Yeah, this can inspire other women to question themselves, like, do I know who I am? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? Do I have a purpose? Yeah. What is my worth? What is my value in this system that I'm living in? And these characters, they makes us question these things. Yeah. Which is amazing, which is great. Yeah. So,
Very good. I don't mean to hurry you, but we have like 5 minutes.
5?
Yes.
So here we go. I'm going to just explicit very short what is the heroine's journey. So the hero's journey, the heroine's journey, they are totally different. Not totally, but they have some circumstances which are different, and we can see it in race. First of all, you have a separation from the feminine. So this is the first point. Yeah. So she is not that delicate, as we can see in the first point. Yeah. Then we have identification. Yeah. With the masculine, and you start gathering allies because you need these allies, you need these people in our trajectory. Then the trials, they start, the problems start, the challenges start, in order to know who this person, who this woman is. Yeah. And after these first trials, these first troubles, they begin. You have in the story a boon of success. So she succeeds in the first challenge that she has, but she does it on the cost of um leaving behind some things, that some positive things that she considers right to her, that it has to do with her character. So she does it, but at the cost of something. Yeah, and it's part of her growing. Then later, you start having these heroines being awakened to the feelings of spiritual aridity, uh, or death in the case, or this heroine lose something. In case of Rey, is when she starts feeling the dark side on the Luke Skywalker's island. She is connected to that dark side. It's calling her. So this is the process. This is part of the process of the heroine journey, to get lost in order to find herself. Yeah. Then after that, she has an initiation. She meets what we call is a meeting with the goddess, that in reality is meeting herself, and she has to fight herself. Is when we see in the movies her dark side version that she sees, is because she's confronting herself. Yeah. Is part of the process. And then during this process of reconnecting with the goddess, she also has to reconnect with the feminine. And she questions why her parents have lost her, why she feels so much the loss of her parents, or the mother. In the case, we see her approaching with General Leia. It's because she sees her as somehow a mother. Yeah. And it's a figure for her. Yeah. Just as Han Solo is the figure of the father she has lost. So after this, what you have a healing. So you have the feminine, her feminine side. Yeah. Approaching again. Yeah. And you see this heroine healing the wounded masculine part. So here what you have in the end, and this is the Ben Solo's part, this is the Ben Solo's importance. It's not because it's only a romantic partner. No. Luke Skywalker is the role of the mentor, but Ben Solo is her masculine counterpart. So they had to meet each other in order for her journey to be complete. Yeah. And then in the end, you have the integration of masculine and feminine. And after this union, you see a heroine that she has finished her journey and she's complete with all her parts there that she thought they were missing. Now they are all together and she's complete. And this is what we see on Rey's trajectory. Yeah. Well, just to finalize, Forces of Destiny series, in case you haven't watched it, do it because the stories are amazing. So examples of women on the light and dark side. So we have Jyn Erso. You can see her on Rogue One. Yeah, an amazing Alliance member. We have Hera Syndulla, which is a Twi'lek revolutionary, an amazing pilot and an amazing commander. Ahsoka Tano, by the way, we're going to have her series. Yeah, an amazing force sensitive and a great rebel leader. Yeah. And Sabine Wren, which is a Mandalorian and a great revolutionary leader, and also an amazing creative artist. She demonstrates it during the series. Dark side, we have Assaj Ventress, yeah, which has a great, great, amazing story. We see the journey of the heroine in her example, from a slave to an Sith assassin, and after a dark Jedi. So she's an amazing, great character. Barriss Offee, which we hope comes back in Ahsoka Tano's series. She's a fallen Jedi, and we don't know her destination by now. So we hope to see her back. Captain Phasma, that was an amazing character in the movies, not so well developed, but she's a great leader, an amazing captain in the First Order. And Mother Talzin was the leader of the Night Sisters. She's a shaman and a great figure of spirituality. Yeah. So, sorry I couldn't tell anything else about them. Star Wars Visions, in case you haven't seen, please do it. We have two great representations of the feminine in these two episodes. The first episode, the duo, and the second episode, the village bride. So, two curiosities about these women. In the duo, the Sith bandit that was mentioned here was a homage, was a mention to the female samurai from the Japan feudal period, the Onamusha group, or Onabugeisha, as they were named. And in the village bride, we have here F, that was a member of the Jedi Order. She was a fugitive during the Order 66. And her powers are amazing. She has an impressive telekinesis, and she does things that the Jedi from the Legends books and comics do. And we haven't seen this before. It's the first animation representing these powers. So she is a great female character because of this. Yeah. Well, basically that's it. I will finish here with Padme Amidala. In reality, here is Bria Organa talking about her. That we see her as a fragile person, but she's not. She was not. Yeah? And we see here as fate tried to dictate her response, as love almost diverted her from her quest, she remained, she chose to be the only master of her destiny. She was a beacon of hope. She gave her life for the galaxy. And though it seems to become darker and darker, in the shadows, her spark remains and guides us all. She's an amazing character as well. She was very important to the franchise. So that's it. I'm over. Sorry for the short time. And I hope to have shown you here a little bit more information about Star Wars in a manner. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think you did them justice. Thank you so much.
I did. Good.
I would like to know, lady, is it possible to put the quizzes link here down below on YouTube so that people can access it later?
Yeah. Yes, sure, I can. Let me see here. Just a second.
You can send me later, no problem. And then
Okay. Yes, it's better. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
It's
sorry, guys,
better.
you're not live on YouTube.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I'd like to leave it there so people can know more about these characters.
Sure. I'm gonna send you later. Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lady, again, thank you so much for your time, your dedication. You did like everything by yourself. We can see how passionate you are about the franchise and about the characters as well.
Thank you really much for having me here. It was a pleasure, and hope to see you again in the next opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yes. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you, with all of us. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
See ya.